Good morning, everybody. We are Saturday, July 15th, just a week away from the announcement of the August 11th card breakout. We're going to go over the full card that has been announced and a few fights that have not yet been announced. So we're going to go over that right now. Starting with our first match of the night, lightweight kickboxing. We got Julian Plaza of Fight City coming in against Carter Hughes from One Hit MMA. Julian Plaza is 1-0, making his return since his last fight in February. I believe he is the nephew of Brian Miller, who we actually just saw on the last Still Fist card last weekend. Next, we have Brittany Parsons, who is 3-0 from Wicked Ways Muay Thai, coming in against Kendall Baglino from Wyo Faction, training with Dustin Tucker. I've seen Wyo Faction pop up a lot on my radar recently, so excited to see how these people are going to come out and perform. And Brittany Parsons, I always am super excited to watch her fights. She's got really good, exciting, fun, technical style, so this will be great to see as well. Moving on to our next fight, we have a featherweight match. Hunter Garcia coming in against Jorge Frady. Hunter Garcia from One Hit MMA, the younger brother of the current lightweight champion, Amin Garcia. So I have high expectations for how this guy's going to perform. Really excited to see this guy coming in against Jorge Frady, who is independent, and we actually don't know much information about him. So he's got a big task ahead of him, but I'm excited to see it. Next, we've got a lightweight match. Matt Lovato coming from 4-7, fighting against Donnie Harris from Colossal Fight Company. 4-7 has a lot of fighters on this card. They've got Chris Anderson, Nino Geneo, and Trace Tuckett, as well as Matt Lovato. So you can expect some very good training in their gym for this fight card. Coming up against Donnie Ferris from Colossal Fight Company, who they've got Tyler Harden and Shaden Paulson, just two super high-level guys that are exploding in the Utah scene. So this will be great to see how they got now they got a lightweight fighter coming in as well. Super good jiu-jitsu, and also from Shaden Paulson, super good striking. So this is a very exciting fight. Next, we have welterweight Tyler the Installer Daniels, training from Snake Pit, coming in against Austin Munoz, who trains at Team Link and Westside Jiu-Jitsu. Austin is the son of a pretty popular figure in Utah MMA, Eric Munoz. He's a super athletic guy with a wrestling and a soccer background. So he's got the cardio from that soccer, and then he's got the wrestling for that ground game. And Tyler Daniels, who is 2-2, both of his wins are coming by submission. So this will be a great ground match for these guys. Or maybe their ground match cancels up and they'll stay on the feet the whole time. This will be fun to see. Moving on. Next, we have 3-1 Chris Anderson coming in against 0-0 Chris Valdez. Chris Anderson, another really good wrestler from Utah. He trains at 4-7, so he's, a part of that big team that's making a pretty big splash into this fight card. And all of his wins have come by submission. Chris Valdez is a freestyle boxer who trains with his family, coming against somebody who has a really good ground game. I'm hoping to see him putting plenty of time and effort into that to be able to keep this fight standing up and show off some of his freestyle boxing. Next, we have, coming from Fight City, we have Daniel Solis coming against Zach Stackhouse from Ravens MMA down in St. George. Both of these guys are kickboxers. Daniel Solis was a 6-3 kickboxing and Muay Thai record, and Zach Stackhouse having a 3-0 kickboxing record. Daniel Solis is 0-1 in MMA, but his one loss is coming to the current 155-pound champion. Stackhouse is making his debut. So you can expect from both of these guys a super exciting stand-up battle. Really happy for that one. And now making another very quick turnaround. I've seen him on almost every single card. Sifeni Lakai coming in against Bode Monson. Bode Monson is from Mountain View, Wyoming. He has his style entered in, or his style is listed as a wrestler and a kickboxer, which is basically all that you need, versus Sifeni Lakai, who has proven to be a wrestler and a kickboxer and be very powerful. So this will be a fun fight for both these guys. Both of them 2-0 undefeated. We're moving on to our next one. Another amateur featherweight bout. We've got Chris Simons from Agema coming in against Tyler Harden from Colossal Fight Company. Chris Simons has shown some pretty good striking in his past two matches, and I've seen him working with Marco Sanchez to get that level even higher. Coming in with Tyler Harden, who is 2-1. That one loss coming by split decision over the guy who just fought for the title. And Tyler Harden's other 2 fights were over pretty quickly due to submission. So Tyler Harden has a super good ground game. Chris Simons, I'm pretty sure with the guys over at Agima, have been working to be able to shut that down to the best of their ability as he's sharpening up his striking. Moving on to our next fight, we've got Trace Tuckett, who is 4-0, coming in against also undefeated 2-0, Jay Saley. Trace Tuckett is a very well-rounded fighter, has wins by submission, knockout, and decision, so he has the ability to go all the distance. And Jay Saley, who has a wrestling background, but he trains over at Denny's Thai Boxing, so his making sure that he's always sharpening up the hands and feet, as well as having that background on wrestling to fall back on. Moving on to our next fight, we have one of the ones that I am most excited for, Juan Alcántar versus Russell Sosa. 2 guys that I am very familiar with, and one of the things I'm most excited for this fight is it's happening at 160 pounds. Weight cuts definitely sap your energy and reduce your ability to perform. And if you guys were able to see what Russell Sosa was able to do to me with the amount of pressure and energy he had in our fight, and cut out the or not cut out the 10 pounds coming against Juan Alcántar, who has proven to be far more durable without having to cut weight, this will be a very exciting fight. Russell just brings an insane amount of pressure, and Juan has he's under an insane amount of pressure right now because he's going to have to make a turnaround real quick and start getting some numbers in that win column. Okay, we're going up next. We have Kendrick Wolf at 4-4 coming in against Nicholas Johnson, who does Hapkido, which is a form of Taekwondo. So for a light heavyweight, I'm expecting some pretty good dexterity on his kicks. And Kendrick Wolf is just a pretty well-rounded fighter. He said in his last fight he wanted to take it down and try and get a submission. This might be his chance, or he's going to see how well he's able to hold up with the kickboxing style of Nicholas Johnson. Moving on, we have our first championship fight of the night, John Henderson versus Mitch Olson. John Henderson is training independently just with his brothers and is 3-0 with all of his finishes coming by knockout. So a very powerful fighter. His nickname is Heavy Hands because of all of his knockouts and his heavy hands. And he's played a ton of sports throughout his whole entire life, but he's coming up against Mitch Olson, who in his last fight fought a Division I college wrestler and out-wrestled him. So Mitch Olson is a very skilled technical fighter. We're going to see if he's going to rely on his wrestling to finish this fight, or see if he's going to prove himself to be the superior striker here against someone who has against somebody who is as dangerous as John Henderson. Moving on to our co-main event, Jake Banuelos versus Jordan Gonzalez. This is the fight that I am most excited for. Jake Banuelos, 3-2. 2 of his wins coming by guillotine, so he has a pretty good ground game. Every single one of his fights, he's knocked down his opponent. And then Jordan Gonzalez, his 3-0, who has just been showing us his very good technical striking. Jake Banuelos, who his last loss was to the current champion, to the last champion at 135 pounds, who just vacated. So Jake is hopping right back into the title scene against Jordan Gonzalez. This fight has been looked at for a past year, but due to injuries and other circumstances has been postponed until now, where I truly believe that they are both most ready. I've extensively trained with both of these guys. I know their skill sets, and I know this is going to be a great fight for both of them. We're moving on to now our main event. We've got Nino Geneo coming in against Justin McDonald. Nino Geneo from 4-7 hits very hard. The very first Steel Fist event I ever went to, I saw him take on Randy Burton, and the punches were echoing through the whole entire stadium, even though there was a ton of people in there. Sounded like 2x4s. And then Justin McDonald, who had a who has a very good wrestling background, had a very dominant championship run and amateur run. He has 3 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 3 by decision. So he has the ability to use his hands if he needs them, but he also has that wrestling background that he'll be able to pull out. He's taken a big step up to come up against Nino Geneo, and I'm really excited to see how both of these guys are going to perform. Overall, that is the whole entire card coming August 11th to the Union Event Center. I look forward to seeing you all there. This is going to be a very exciting event, and I will see you all eventually.